And the report of the Committee of Parliament was, I think, recommending that this money should be recovered by the Land Commission. So I want to know whether this money has been recovered by Land Commission and why. Then this other gentleman, Busurwa Julius, there was something to do, I think, with the forgery chair, because the transaction, the registrar who signed on the land title in 1972 is the same registrar who signed when this land was being transferred in 2020, and it is in the report of the ad hoc committee that the Land Commission should explain why this registrar was in lands in 1972 making a transaction, and again the same person is there in 2020 doing the same transaction. So, Chair, though they are not beneficiaries, but they have some issues which the officials should explain.
Okay, so according to the list, that was paid in excess of 24,654,000. You said you didn't invite him because he was not paid for this particular supplementary, but then there is that excess. So has Uganda Land Commission recovered that excess? Because his claim initially, if I remember correctly, was 175 million, thereabout. But then he was paid 200 million. And that's why it's flagged here that there was an excess of 24.6 million. Have we recovered this money? Has Uganda Land Commission recovered this money?
Chair, we have not recovered this money. The Secretary earlier wrote to Luakana, and I think there is a communication to that effect, but we just need to follow up because by the time she left office, there was no feedback. So we haven't followed up this. We shall follow it up. For Luakana, that 24 million. For Busurwa, this matter is still with CID. They are still, I think, investigating the fire, and we are waiting for their report. Thank you, Chair.
Which secretary wrote to Luakana? Yes. So, because Barbara is not around, she's not in office, we are still trying to track her, and maybe for the update of members, we hear there's a possibility she fled the country after we started these investigations, because we have gotten information from immigration and records show that she ran out of the country as soon as we started our inquiry. But what we are doing now is to engage Interpol so that we get hold of her, wherever she is. She fled through Nairobi because the records show she went to Nairobi. But it's very possible Nairobi was just a transit route. She used that to eventually go, I don't know where, because many of the ills that have been happening in Uganda Land Commission, specifically tethered to the Auditor General's report, were at the time when Barbara Imari was Secretary and Accounting Officer. The challenge, though, is at the time, she was being guarded by military police, even when she was reporting to CID before she fled the country. And so we have tasked and written to the leadership of the UPDF to help us understand the circumstances under which she was being guarded by military men, and also for them to share with us, according to them, her potential whereabouts, because they were guarding her. And all of a sudden, she has fled. And so we are expecting a response from the leadership of the army about this person, Barbara Imario, because she has lots of issues to answer to us as a committee, to Parliament, to the country, because we're talking about billions and billions of shillings, lots of money, which went through her hands as Secretary and Accounting Officer. So we as we are engaging Interpol, we have also asked the leadership of the army to explain to us the circumstances under which she was being guarded by the military, because she was an ordinary citizen, you know. Was there some kind of threat or whatever? They will explain to us. And also, according to them, her potential whereabouts, because she was in their custody, if you like. She would move with them wherever and so on. Even the time she would report to CID, she would have the red top with her. And when we started this investigation, she then fled the country, perhaps because she knew there was a lot she had to answer for. But wherever Barbara is, I believe we shall eventually catch up with her as we use Interpol and all the other avenues that we have available to us. So that's also by way of update to this committee, because it's important that you know whatever is going on. That said, though, we want to task you who are in charge now. Mr. Nyumba, you're the secretary. We want to get feedback from you on this issue in less than a week's time, because this person was overpaid in a very unclear manner. Of course, the person that did it at the time, was that payment also cleared by Barbara?
This could have been earlier. Yeah, this could have been earlier because I think
Guideline issue before we can move to the witnesses. So, Mr. Mugisa Geoffrey, number one, how much you were paid and the validity of your claim according to you.
Thank you, Honch. First of all, I want to confirm to you that I'm Geoffrey Mugisa.
Because there was an error within the documents and a complaint about whether this is Mugisa or Mugisha.
On chair, that's where I have a problem. I would come clean on this and set the record straight. On chair, as you can see, I'm not dead, like how members of yours have been claiming I'm non-existent. I don't have a legitimate claim. All records can show that I have a claim which is legitimate. I sold my land to ULC way back in 2016. There is a valuation report to that effect of 1.54 billion, which I have a copy, and I think also ULC has a copy. And I've been following up, I had been following up that payment over some time, for a span of around 5 years.
Chairman.
Yes, point of procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman, for record, we need to know who was paid. Did they pay Mugisha or Mugisa? And who is here? So we need to know who was paid, who benefited, and whom are we dealing with?
Mr. Mugisa, if you could speak louder, draw the microphone closer. Just pull the microphone closer to yourself. It's a bit far. Okay.
Honor Chair, when I was beginning, I said, for the record, I'm called Mugisa Geoffrey. And that's what is on file in ULC. There is no H. And I think it's what is in the Auditor General's report. So I said I'm Mugisa Geoffrey, who was paid. There is evidence to that. I had a title, which I sold to ULC. There is an agreement to that effect. I handed over the title in 2016. I have the evidence. It was valued by the then government valuer to a tune of 1.544 billion. And in the year 2016, I was advanced 50 million from the 1.544 billion. So I had been claiming the balance of that, if you minus 50 million. That's the balance that was due to me. So it came up because I had been claiming, it came up as a supplementary, and I was paid the balance, and I acknowledge the receipt of that fund. So I'm the one who was paid. But
Chair, clarification. Through the chair, if you were advanced a payment of 50 million in 2016 and 2015, 16? 16, yes, I'm right there.
That was in August.
Yes, and then the last payment of 1.494 billion came in 2021?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Do you have, because you talk about agreement, do you have a copy of the agreement, photocopy of the title? I'm sure you should. Do you have documents that prove what you're telling us, Mr. Mugisa?
Honourable Chair, I have everything relating to that, and they can be tabled before you for your perusal.
Okay, just mention to us whichever documents, then you can submit them.
I have an acknowledgement receipt from UFC of the title, which was received on 26th of July 2016. Here. Then I have a copy of the title. That's a duplicate because the original is with UFC. Then I have a payment voucher acknowledgement of 50 million, which I got on 11th August 2016. And I have a copy of the evaluation report of the title. It is dated June 2016. That's all what I can table now, Honourable Chair.
Okay. Just bring them to me. Looks like people have stepped out. Mr. Mugisa, you can bring them.
And your last payment came in 2021?
Exactly.
What was the money that you received in total on your account?
I received all the money, the balance.
I want the figure. I want the figure.
I can cut, but it's 1.4. There is a voucher to that effect, I think.
Okay, from the document I have here, it's indicating 1.494 billion.
That is it, exactly.
That is what you received.
Exactly.
Isn't it overpayment according to 1.5 billion that you were supposed to receive?
It is not.
What is in your valuation report?
It is 1.544 billion.
Okay. Is that a for sale value?
1,544 million Uganda shillings.
Is that a for sale value that you were supposed to receive, or?
This is what the valuer came up with.
Chair, maybe we need to get a copy of that evaluation report, because there are two figures that we always look at in valuation reports.
Okay, so I'm trying to peruse this. Unfortunately, we have one copy. Maybe let me, because I'm reading while chairing, let me request Honorable Abdallah, just scan through this document. 6 June to this land. And how many titles were they?
One title.
One title for the 208 hectares.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, when did you acquire title to that land?
Honourable Chair, the details on that title.
No, I'm asking you, sir.
I acquired that title in 2001,
2000 what?
2002, there, around there. The details I've lost the memory, but the details on the title there, Honourable Chair.
What do you remember? Because the title of 208 hectares worth 1.5 billion, it's not something that would very quickly skip your mind.
I've lost memory, but the details are there. Remember the details of the title out there. Yes, exactly.
Did you purchase it from someone else, or you were the first owner?
I was the first owner. It's a freehold title.
Okay, thank you. Who was on the land by the time you acquired it?
Myself. It was customary land, family land. So I just legitimized ownership by titling it freehold.
But the valuation says that this was a densely occupied land. So by the time you acquired the land, it was occupied.
It was not occupied.
Can I read for you the report?
Yeah, I know. What I'm saying, for the record, this was customary land. Now, under the law, you can transfer, you can register. So this was family land. I had been there for some time, just because it was very big, and the squatters came later. So I just transferred from customary to
When did they
freehold.
come,
Yes.
the squatters, to make the land densely, as the valuation report says, that it says among the remarks that this is a densely populated, densely occupied land. When did they come to make it densely occupied? Before you acquired the title or after?
No, they came later. We are talking about an influx of people from Kabale. These people who come at night, just because you have a big chunk of land, it does not legitimize that when they come, they just come and settle freely. So this was my customary land, and these people just came.
No, when did they come?
They came within that period. Even, for them, the way they come, they can even come within a year. And when the committee visited, the ad hoc committee, when it visited the area, they saw it for themselves. The committee by Bitechero, they saw it. They saw what we are talking about. And this is something that was all over the press, I think, because they came with the press team from Parliament. So they saw what we are talking about. But the Hon Chair, to set the record straight, I was not on pressure to sell this land. Government offered. I even had the capacity to compensate them, but government offered. Actually, it offered little money. Looking at the market value of the land there now, we are talking about a valuation which was made 6 years ago. So I could have got much more money from this land if I was to put it on open market.
Okay, as Honorable Ekanya comes in, I would like to understand, because you're saying you owned the land customarily.
Exactly.
Initially, you were wishy-washy on whether there were settlers thereon.
They weren't there to be on record. They weren't.
No,
there.
by the time the survey was done and all of that, because that's what we are looking at. You're not going to take us to 1900. I don't know. We are talking about the evaluation report. The survey was done.
Exactly.
Were there people settling there or not?
They weren't there.
Huh?
There were no people. By the time I titled, there were no people. But by the time ULC visited for opening boundaries, there were people.
Mr. Chair,
But
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, we can refer to him the evaluation report.
I made an offer. I came as a vendor, and ULC made an offer. They did due diligence. I don't know how they do it. This was not a forced sale. So the liability lies with ULC. I came in, they know how they do it, they made a survey, they offered. And they told me, please present the title. So really, I don't see where I'm at fault.
I guess what's confusing us, Mr. Mugisa,
Yes, Chair.
you had forgotten the time you acquired the title, and we reminded you, 2011, because
Yeah, that's true.
you have given us a copy of the title, which we have.
Yeah, Hon Chair, I said around 2011. I think I was correct.
So you're saying the time you acquired title, 2011,
Yes.
there were no people settling
They
on
were
this
not
land.
there. I was there myself, yes.
According to a valuation report of 2016,
Yes. That's
5 years later,
Exactly.
the valuation report indicates they were tenants by occupancy.
Yes.
What does this, because that's what Honorable Abdallah is asking you, what does this phrase mean to you, tenants by occupancy?
Yeah, on chair, we are looking at a span of 5 years after he got the title. So the valuation was made after 5 years. And that's why I was saying after 5 years, they were tenants. They are squatters, not tenants, squatters on my land, because I had already acquired it.
So you saw these people coming to settle and you did nothing about it?
Some of these guys are hostile. They come when they are armed. They are what? These are people, cultivators, people grazing. So you have no control. And what I'm talking about is physical there, because the committee was there.
We're not denying the existence of the land.
Exactly.
What we are trying to get to, Mr. Mugisa, is to understand, one, who the owner of this land is or was, and the validity of your claim for you to be paid 1.5 billion shillings. Because you're saying you owned this land customarily.
Yes, Chair.
We would want to establish what proof is there to show that you owned this land customarily, because what sometimes does happen, somebody comes a place like this and realizes there are people settling. The land is not titled. I go through Uganda Land Commission, Ministry of Lands, whatever the case might be, and somehow I acquire a title, and then I come and I say, hey, I'm the title holder here. Either I'm going to evict you, or I am selling, or that kind of thing, you know. So we want to establish your ownership customarily. How did that get to be? And proof to that effect. Because you can't just say I own it, you know, customarily. It belongs to my family. Based on what? Do you have evidence to that effect?
On Chair, the evidence is I was born there and I've lived there for 40 years. I'm 40. And all the details can prove that I lived there, I was born there, my ancestors were there, and they are still there.
Is that adequate evidence? Because you see, some of the people who are occupying that land can, for example, say the same thing you're saying. That, for me, actually, my ancestors were here dating back from 100 years ago. How do we prove your customary ownership of this land?
On Chair, I was born there. My grandparents are there. They are still there. My family is there. I'm talking about an extended family. So when you look at the land tenure systems in Uganda, which are 4, I think, customarily, you can inherit, you can be born in a place and own it. You can be offered by the grandparents. So I was there, and even my family, my extended family is there, and it can be proved that it is there.
So are you saying your grandparents offered you this land, for example?
This was family land, yes, to be on record. This was family land, and my other people still own part of the land. But only me, I knew the value of, you know, formalizing, and I titled. I got the title and had been. Of course, I had an offer. I had an arrangement to settle the squatters.
Chair,
and I should have done that. But there were, which I could say, political pressures down there. That was around 2016. So I wanted to drive you how I arrived at coming to ULC. There were political pressures.
No, before that.
Maybe before.
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah,
Honorable Judith,
that,
and then Honorable.
I want to give him a brief of how we acquire land commonly, probably from our ancestors. I am one of the administrators of my late father's properties. And then we went through the family processes of identifying who among the children can aid the estate, our father's freehold land title to our names. So how did you? Did you sit down with the families and they identified only you as the holder of the estate of your parents, or you were, I remember you said, if I can quote, you said you can inherit were you identified as the only child among your other siblings, or you have a documentation probably witnessed by the LCs of your local area? Because your other brothers and sisters could be out there crying that they don't know this deal that you had with Uganda Land Commission.
Just similar to that, can you assure this meeting will come to claim the same property? Because here I'm aware where some Indian and some Ugandans claim the same property and government had to compensate both. Because government needed the land for putting an oil project just here. So can you assure us that none of your family members, were you the agent, the chairperson, or this was your portion which was cut to you, that nobody will come to claim money? Because that's part of the problem we get, ghost payment.
Won't I forget all on chair?
Mr. Mugisa, what you do, get a pen and a paper and write this.
So, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to know if he was now with the owner of the family land, why did he decide to sell it to Uganda Land Board? And I just want also to know who came to who. Did the Land Board came to you looking for land, or you came to them that you are selling land?
To begin with, Madam Honorable didn't get the constituency piece. Madam Chair, different cultures have different ways of how they do things.
Very clear.
Madam Chair,
this is a matter of law.
Madam,
when you are to
I beg to be protected and I submit.
Okay, let's give him time. He first tells us what he's telling us, and then we can rebut. And for the record, I am not Madam Chair.
Sorry, Honorable Chair. What I'm stating is the fact. Different cultures have different norms and the way they do things. For the record, this was part of my kibanja, which was apportioned to me. In our culture, when you grow up, your father could decide and say, for you, this is my kibanja, you'll settle there, you'll settle there, you'll settle there. And it is allowed. It can't be questioned in law. So we should address ourselves particularly to my culture. And that's what I can state. Now, Hon Chair, this part of the 208 hectares was apportioned to me, and this belongs to me. And there's nobody who's going to claim.
Who apportioned it to you?
The family.
What do you mean by family?
That is the document we want.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the document, this is verbal. Unless someone comes claiming, this is a verbal arrangement. If you came home now, in my village where I stay, I have put a structure on my father's land, but there's no title. There's no agreement to that. When you go in the mountains in Rwenzori, the settlements are extended. So I have my house on the family land, my brothers have, we are 5. But our culture does not allow us to condition the parents that please give me an agreement.
My question was,
yes,
who bequeathed this land to you? Was it your parents? Was it your grandparents? When you talk about family, the specificities are what we want.
From my grandparents to my father, then to us.
You have not answered the question. Who bequeathed the land to you?
My father.
Geoffrey Mugisa.
My father.
What's the name of your father, sir?
George Namiaka.
When did he bequeath this land to you?
I was around 96. Around 96, I was in Form 1, I think.
And according to you...
Maybe, Chair, on the matter, this is a matter of law. Mr. Mugisa Geoffrey,
exactly.
The law has not changed drastically.
When did you acquire this particular land?
201.
Two?
The title.
The title
The
in?
title, yes.
You acquired title in 20 what?
It is there, the copy of the title.
No. Just answer what you know.
Yeah, look at the title.
But so, you know, Mr. Mugisa, I'm beginning to doubt very highly. So what we, as you come in, Honorable Mwada, we are trying to ascertain, because we have got a lot of reports to that effect, that some of the people who were paid this money were not deserving. You were paid 1.5 billion shillings.
Yes,
and we are trying to be sure you were deserving, as opposed to the reports that we have gotten.
Exactly.
So for you not to be able to remember simple things like when you acquired title, you keep saying 201, the title has 2011. You know, it's as if there was just some kind of arrangement between you and maybe some official. Let's get this title, and then you come and say, I have title here, and so I should be compensated. We want to establish.
I confused that. It was 211.
You will speak when we ask you to speak.
Yes.
So you see, there's many ways for us to establish somebody telling us a lie. You're not sure when you acquired the title. It's as if something was just worked out very quickly. Now here is the title. Government is going to come and compensate you. Honorable Mother.
Yeah, Mr. Geoffrey Mugis.
The Kibanja or the title?
Both.
The Kibanja, 96.
1996.
Title, 2011.
Now, in terms of the Chibanja,
yes,
how did you acquire it legally?
Honorable Chair, I just said this was bequeathed to me.
So someone died?
You don't have to die. I said my father is still living.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So what are you saying? He gave to you in words, in writing?
On Chair, I just mentioned that verbally.
Verbally?
Exactly.
Were you present?
I was living, as you can see.
When he was giving you or bequeathing, were you present there?
I was there and I was living.
With some other individuals or you alone?
Family.
What do you call family?
An extended family, brothers, sisters, grands, uncles.
So it was a meeting?
Call it that a meeting, but it was a family gathering.
Now, to your recollection, acquiring land in Uganda, be it from family or by donation, is it governed by law or by family? Just to your recollection.
Yeah, by law, but me, I'm privy to.
Is it by law?
Yes, by law.
How is it acquired?
There is one you can acquire customarily.
Yes.
Like how I said in a family meeting. From customary, you can transfer to freehold. You can lease. So mine was customarily acquired, and then I transferred to freehold.
And what size did you acquire?
208.6 hectares.
In words?
Exactly.
Did your father know hectares?
His land, he knows. He's a landman, he knows.
How big was his land?
It was over 500 acres.
And how many children did he have?
I can't ascertain how many because he's a man.
You said your father had how many? The size of land?
500 hectares.
500 hectares. Yeah. And he gave you how many?
208 hectares.
200?
And 8.
208. Meaning you got half of the 500.
Exactly.
How many children does your father have?
I don't know.
Those you know?
9 from my mother.
9 from your mother. So you have other...
Yeah. It is an extended family, council mother.
Was there a special arrangement? Would your father have given you 200 out of the 500 when he has 9 other children?
Maybe I was the favorite, but we'll leave it to him.
How old were you by then?
I was around 13 there.
You were around?
13.
Around 13?
14, yeah.
13, 14 years.
96 years at that time.
In 96,
Around the
And you,
14.
and you could recall that meeting.
Yeah, I know.
Are you aware of the law governing adulthood and minor?
Maybe that time I was not aware, but there is no law that would.
No, just tell me. You were 13.
Yes.
And you were in that meeting.
Exactly.
And it is your words which were used by Land Commission to agree that you acquired that land at 13.
No, I come to register this land when I was much later old.
I'm on acquisition.
Exactly.
I'm on acquisition, not registration.
Yes.
So what was quoted was your meeting with your father when you were 13 years.
Quoted in which?
What is quoted as the genesis of you getting 200 hectares?
Exactly.
Was at a time when you were 13 years.
Exactly.
In a meeting with your father.
It was not my father, it was a meeting of family.
A family, and you recall you being given 208. Do you find it believable?
Very much so.
before you go to that,
Yes.
you see, you presented land board.
Yes,
Okay?
this was now later.
Yes, maybe in 2008, maybe
No,
in
2009 there.
in 2009.
Yes.
What did you present? What did you say? These were not documentary. What did you present?
I presented an offer from the area land committee. You know, later you sit at the village level. There is a village area land committee. Then at sub-county you convene the meetings. There are records to that effect. If you wanted to dig the records from lands through an area land committee, this is a committee of the locals.
Yes,
They
because
sit.
even the area land committee has a basis of
Yeah,
when to
because the
confirm.
area land committee is from the village. They know. These are LOC1 chairpersons. They know. If you went there, the way land is owned, if you went down there, most of these people don't have agreement.
Let me complete this one.
They will also say, so and so is settled there. Those are family members. This is my
No.
Chivanja. Yes.
You can stop there. I just want to appreciate that at 13 years, tended by you, and is the basis of your acquisition. Leave alone registration. Now, and you said you have 9 other relatives you know of.
Yes.
How would a meeting witnessed by you, a minor, effectively grant you 208 hectares? To your understanding, as a minor?
Honorable Council Mother, what is wrong with that to you?
Because you are the only source we have.
Yes, and I was the only gifted beneficiary. What's wrong with that in law?
I'm trying to understand, because you are the source.
Exactly, and I'm saying
is there any other living adult?
I believe you have.
Who can give testimony to that?
I believe, Honorable, you have children.
Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair.
Honorable, I believe you have children.
Point of procedure.
Yes.
Ownership, and if there is any other person that will come claiming this, to the best of my knowledge, there is no any other person apart from the Mugisha Geoffrey, who has been in the media, who is a ghost. But Mugisha Geoffrey is alive here and is not a ghost and is not dead, and is the rightful claimant and beneficiary of that fund. Then the other question was who went to who. Yeah, I heard of the compensation. I've always heard about it, the land fund, and I walked in to inquire. As a public open entity, I walked in to inquire, and I was given the guidance. And I initiated the process and followed every step that I was told. And that's how we arrived at that.
Initially, you said that it is the Ministry and Land Commission which reached out to you, asking you to sell. So which is which?
Only Chair, like I wanted to give you the genesis way back. After some pressures from some people, I'm not alone, we were invited by the Honorable Betty among something, that time the then Minister for for lands. We had a meeting at the ministry boardroom, and there were offers. And some people took up the offers. But some of us who were a bit enlightened, we said, no, we have to do this legally. There has to be evaluation and all that. And that's how it came to this. I gave in, and that's how the process was initiated. So
what were the political pressures you're talking about?
Of these settlers who come from Chigezi on our land. This is ancestral land. So it was Karuru time. Exactly. That's where the pressure came from.
Mr. Mugisa, I have a letter here that was written by the Honorable Betty Kamya in 2020. She was Minister of Lands. It was written to the Minister of Finance, and she was listing people who should be compensated. And number 6 is Mugisa Joffrey, and the reason she gave that you needed urgent medical attention and to buy land elsewhere. This is a letter by the then Minister of Lands, Honorable Betty Kamya, to Minister of Finance. Can you speak to this? That you needed to be paid urgently, simply because you needed urgent medical attention.
Yes, going to the minister. It's another long story, on Chair. And maybe partly that's why I've been casting bad light in the public. As a fraud, as a person who does not exist. I was declared some time back dead. I don't know whether I'm a ghost, but I'm here, you can see. So after being frustrated for 5 years, and you all see, because the chairperson has alleged all sorts of things about my name and how I'm non-existent. And I had always, I have been longing to have this opportunity to come here and set the record straight. Since this supplementary thing started, my problem started that time. And I had always wanted to interface with this committee. I even made...
Mr. Mugisa, don't take us in circles. Just respond to this claim
exactly
here by the minister.
How I come to that now. After being frustrated for 5 years following my payment in ULC, actually this money was recovered by my lawyers. I instructed them because I had been there from 2016 up to last year following up this payment. After being frustrated and on all fronts, I moved. Before I went to the minister, Hona Amongi, that time before she left, I was in her office addressing the same issue. Now, when Hon Betty Kamya came in, I went to her. Actually, me going to Honorable Kamya, I was going to report the frustrations at ULC. So I went there. Of course, I talked to her as a political head. I told her I have a claim at ULC. I've been tossed up and down. I have my personal problems. Part of them are health, and the others I wanted to acquire land because government had taken my land. They had even gone ahead to transfer the title to ULC. So I interacted with her. I told her I had my issues. And she told me, I will make a follow-up. And that's how it came about. So from that time, when I went to the minister, that is when I became a ghost. That's when I became a bad person. That's when I became everything. Because what happens at ULC, there are so many dirty things. I was asked for money, 50% of this amount.
Who asked for the money?
Chair.
Yeah, the chairperson, because at the end of the day, you have been seeing on the media that Mugisha does not exist. First of all, they made it a deliberate attempt to misspell my name, to appear a ghost, and they called me Mugisha. Secondly, yes.
Who asked you for money?
I'm coming to that, Mr. Chair.
No, I want the answer now, before you respond to anything
Yeah, I'm
else.
coming to that. It's not a specific person, but they are agents.
Agents of who?
Of that office. Because you could clearly see the person who has been against Yes, take it that way.
On record, you said chairperson, it's already on record.
It is well. I have nothing to hide.
And some other individuals?
Those are agents of the office. The office bearer will not come and tell you this. But so, yes.
Okay, I want that the record is capturing this properly.
Exactly. So from that time...
Mr. Mugisa, I want you to learn to listen when, you know, we are engaging you. I don't want us to have an argument. My question is, because you have said on compensation.
Yes.
Who asked you for money?
No, this one is for this one.
Home chair. There is no specific individual, but there are people, they are agents.
Agents of who?
Of the office bearer.
So what I want now to know from you is who specifically came to you and who did they tell you had sent them?
The office bearer, the head at ULC, let be the chairperson, but that is the head. So that's why, Home Chair, if you have been following this thing chronologically from how it started, from the supplementary budget in Parliament, I was watching on news. It was alleged by the chairperson that I was non-existent. Later, when the supplementary was passed and I was paid, she continuously said I was non-existent.
Yes, please.
I want to find out who was the chairperson of ULC, and do you come with the chairperson of ULC from the same district? Do you have a local conflict?
Maybe, yeah, maybe she doesn't want me to be in Parliament at some time.
Wait a minute.
I'm a Munyoro, she's a Munyoro. What has been baffling me, I have been to her office over 5 times. But she comes here to the committee and says I'm non-existent. Do they have CCTV cameras in office there? Probably can retrieve them.
What's the issue about Parliament?
Well, I would desire to be here like you at some point.
So what has that got to do with this inquiry?
Yeah, because why I'm saying this payment, you don't know, Home Chair, this payment, what it has cost me in my village.
So here is the thing. If I am to recall properly the words of the chair, the others were not deserving either because they were ghost claimants, their claims were illegitimate and that kind of thing. And that's what we want to get to the bottom of. Now, you have made an allegation, which I don't want to sweep under the carpet, because now we seem to be speaking to a politician. You know, you politicians, you make statements. Say, so-and-so asked me for money. I want you to substantiate that claim now, because you are on the record. So which agent came to you saying, I have been sent by the chairperson? Who? You name that person.
Because, Home Chair, why I'm saying she's the one, what would motivate her?
No. Forget the motivation.
Okay.
You have said
okay,
on record that agents of the chairperson came to you saying she wants 50% of this money if you're to get it. Who are those? Because we cannot make, I want that if it be true, we hold her accountable. That if you're just telling a lie using it politically, we hold you accountable.
No, Honorable Chair, there is no way I can tell a lie, because we are talking about things that are on record. In her own words, because I'm meant to believe.
Mr. Mugisa, I don't want you to confuse me here.
Procedure, Chair.
Just before that procedure, Mr. Mugisa, you have said on record there that agents of the chairperson came to you saying she wanted 50% of this money before you could get it. So forget the stories of what could motivate her to say this on TV and that kind of thing. I want to know who that agent or who those agents are.
Before you can answer, I pray and I request that this gentleman, he has made 3 statements changing now and then. Can we put him on oath?
Maybe actually we should. Let's administer oath so that we get the facts. I see you changing statements again and again. Your mic is off. Just switch off that microphone. Let's administer the oath to this gentleman.
LC has all my details. And to show you that I have not been, because I was declared to be in hiding, you asked the secretary.
Please take oath.
Oh. I, Geoffrey
Raise
Mugisa,
the Bible.
I, Geoffrey Mugisa, swear that the evidence I shall give touching the matter before this committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Asking for a 50% cut of this money, 1.5.
Actually, even he wrote a letter to the Committee of Parliament about my non-existence. I have been looking for Dongpin.
Odongpin who?
Odongpin, he used the name Odongpin.
So,
And even he wrote a letter. I think these are pseudonyms they use. He wrote a letter, Odongpin, about myself, and because they had been engaging me, that you think your payment will go through if you don't cooperate like that. So even when the supplementary budget request was tabled, this gentleman wrote a letter. And the Madam Chair, ULC, came, because I was watching on TV, he came with that letter from Dongpin. So how would I fail to believe that she was behind it?
so Odongpin came to you when and said what exactly?
That if you think you're going to get this money, just like that, forget.
So is he the one who mentioned the 50% or that's...
Yeah, that's what, so I tried to...
I want to know the exact words that he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said he started from 20%. I said, but you're asking for too much, maybe 10%. I said, okay, we shall see. So, and I thought it had ended because I thought maybe these were corn people from... But when I saw a letter come to Parliament, also about Dongopin, I corroborated and I said, this is it. And also, Hon Chair, when the chairperson constantly denied my existence, I started to worry. Maybe she was planning to eliminate me. Actually, I'm living in constant fear. And when the secretary called me, he called me once like he said, are you Mux? I said, yes. You know, Parliament requires us to come. He can testify. I said, I shall be there. This is a moment I've been longing for. I said, let me be there. I should come and set the record straight.
So Odongpin came to you in what capacity? What?
He called. He said, are you so and so? I said, yes. Do you have a claim? I said, yes. You know, you are not going to get it that way. Then later he called me and said, and this is a pseudo number even now. It's not there. I tried even to look for registration. I have failed. But I had some messages.
So
SMS.
You earlier on said that the agent came to you. Now you're saying Odongpin called you on phone. So which is the truth?
This is the man I had wanted to meet.
But you said he met you.
No, he said he engaged me. Chairman, I used the word engagement. And engagement.
Mr. Mugisa.
I said engagement. If this is on record, then it is recording.
Okay, so you're saying somebody engaged you and they said I am Odongpin.
Odongpin who? He just used the word Dongpin. But if you went on record of Parliament, there is that letter which was authored about Dongpin, about my non-existence, how I was a fraud, how I was everything.
So maybe as colleagues do come in, because you're saying, what you're telling us now, you seem to be editing your story. Because earlier on you said that agents came to you and they said that the chairperson wants 50%.
Honorable, I said the agents engaged me and they said they want 50%.
For the chairperson?
Exactly. In my wisdom, when she moved to Parliament, the first time the supplementary was presented, and tendered in this part of the letter, if it were you, how would you corroborate that?
No, there's two things.
Yes.
One, you said that the agent said the chairperson wants 50%.
I said
that's different from saying the agent asked me for 50% and then I am imagining who is interested in it. So which is the truth?
Yeah, so I said the agent asked me for 50%. But when, in my reasoning...
Wait a minute, did the agent tell you who was interested in the 50%?
Not really.
But you see, in your first record before, you said that it was for the chairperson.
What makes me think she was the one? She came with this letter in Parliament by Odongopin, and she constantly said I was non-existent on the chair.
Because you see, for me, I want to go for the real culprit, so to speak.
Yeah, she should be put on oath to tell this committee that I'm non-existent.
Before you direct me on what to do, Mr. Mugisa.
Yes, Chair.
For me, I want to get the facts from me, because earlier on you said with certainty, but later you imagined it was for the chairperson. Because you see, I want that if the chairperson is guilty, I want to go for her head.
Yes, exactly. I want the chairperson.
So which is, no, we are with you here, not
yes,
the chairperson.
Yes, Chair.
So there's two versions.
Exactly.
Earlier on you said that the agent came
engaged me, yes,
and said the chairperson wants 50%. Now you have changed the story to say the agent asked for 50%, but I later concluded it was for the chairperson. Which of those two statements is correct?
The person has consistently, even on TV, said I'm non-existent. And she carried a letter of a person who called me, Odongpin alleging I'm non-existent. The chairperson, and I thought I would find her here, should convince this committee that I'm non-existent.
You're not answering my question about the 50%, and I don't want you to confuse me, Mr. Mugisa. My question is,
yes,
you have so far given us two versions. Your first version was an agent came to you and said,
the ULC has constantly said the only legitimate claimant is Nagenda. The rest of us are fraud agents. And on chair, I'm saying, I'm before you. My name is Geoffrey Mugisa. This team from ULC, they have my records. But I want also to inform you, you don't know how many times my records went missing at ULC. I don't know for which purpose. What saved me is what I've just shared with you.
Mr. Mugisa, do you have, because you talked about documents from the Area Land Committee. Here is land, a huge chunk of land, previously untitled, then you acquire title. Your story was...
But like I told you, these records are there. And sometimes you may not be interested in your documents, but they can be traced. But these are the documents. Why, Mr. Chairman, up to now, labored to explain to this committee that the rightful person who has paid is Mugisa, not Mugisha. They have kept it at that. And I've been wondering...
Did you ever meet? How many times did you meet her?
Around 3 times in her office.
What did you discuss?
I came to her and I told her I had been, because when she came in when she was new, before there had been Honorable Baguma, I think. So when she had come in when she was still new, I walked to her office. And if I'm telling a lie, there are CCTV cameras there, they can be retrieved. I walked to her office. I told her, Madam, I'm so and so. I come from this place. We exchanged pleasantries. She's called Awola Makiki. And then I told her, you know, I had a problem here. I have a claim. It had taken some time. I said, okay, I'll help you. So she made a copy of my file. She sent her secretary to go to the registry. A copy of my file was made, a duplicate. But a good thing, I normally move with my duplicates. Actually, some of them are original. So I kept following up. Because apparently I realized for some time, 10 years without being paid. Part of this claim was tabled before Parliament. We were over 180. It was coming to around over 80 billion who are claiming. So for us who can walk in and engage people, we are at an advantage. But are those who cannot walk in, those who cannot speak for themselves. So what I'm telling you is the gospel truth. There's nothing to hide. I had been to her office. She's well known to me. What surprised me was her saying, I'm non-existent. I was bleeding inside. I'm not there. This is a young man who is from Hoima, who have been from Hoima, distorting facts. So why would you fail to believe that? I've never been from Hoima. I'm not a young man. Could be young, but I'm 40. I'm not sick. Being sick, my health condition is none of her business. So I didn't get the message. Maybe we did not speak from the same page.
Honorable Itungo.
I want a clarification from Mr. Mugisa. There is a name here being mentioned of Mr. Michael Obongomin. So I don't know whether you are talking about Obongomin or Obongopong.
Obongopin.
Now, Chair, in this report, this gentleman had wrote a letter alleging that Mr. Mugisa, I don't know whether it was an allegation, but the letter says that he had inflated the size of his land.
That is it.
So I don't know whether you are the person.
That is the very gentleman who was engaging me for a cut.
Mr. Chair, can this witness tell us when I guess you confirmed that he was doing an illegality?
Exactly.
Did you report him anywhere?
I never did so. Talking about a record of parliament.
Report, okay, to police?
Honorable Chair, I didn't. And I considered it, I did not report. But the good thing, there is a record to that effect.
When you received the 1.544 billion, did you comply at any one point to any officer?
I did not even comply. And that's why maybe up to now I'm being hunted. Because the Honorable Chair, I want to report even my life is in danger. Because people have followed the 1.4 billion, there is a lot of blackmail about that funding. And I was even considering if that's the case, I can return the money and have my title and do other business. Even I can get more value from it.
Mr. Mugisha.
Mr. Mugisha, you're not going to blackmail us here.
Chair, just one remaining for him.
Bigger interest is how you acquired the title. You know, that's the most important thing to us. We want to ascertain
Chair,
that this title was put in the right hands. Yes, Honorable Judith.
Chair, I wanted to ask Mr. Mugisa Geoffrey, times consecutively visiting the chair, Madam Chair of ULC, and she had promised to help you finish the process and you get your money. At what point did you fall out with her? And on what ground?
What I need to confirm to you is true. I had been there. And if I'm telling a lie, you can go and retrieve the CCTV. It is there. I don't know, actually. It also baffles me. I don't know at what point we fell out. And I thought, because I had been to her office, if there was any matter relating to my claim, I should have been engaged by ULC. Just like how they called me. I don't know where they got my phone number from. They should have engaged me. Even in the whole process of the supplementary budget, I should have been engaged. They should have told me, you know, Mr. Mugisa, there is ABCD. I even reached a point that time, it is well, the ad hoc committee visited me, but I was at pain, and I was longing for this, because constantly, when I was going to title,
yes,
I used the private surveyor.
No, I mean from the district.
The one who gave an offer was that time the surveyor was Dennis. The district surveyor, yeah, exactly, yes.
Who now works with Uganda Land Commission?
I guess so.
You see that name, and
the district surveyor issues an instruction to survey. He's from Boyale, the survey company. There are no survey that land.
What role did Dennis Musinguzi play?
His role was to, you know, after
at that point.
Yes, after the land board has given an offer.
And now he works with Uganda Land Commission, part of the team that is supposed to be clearing you. You don't
a message to me And when I talked to him, he said he's not able to make it this morning. So I have a message which he wrote to me that he's sick. When he wrote, I called and he confirmed that he was very indisposed. There in Chivale, and most of these activities were in Chivale, but he left that job long time ago.
That's true. I'm talking about the track that now it is on this end. The same Dennis who defended it the other side is defending it this side where the money is coming from. Did I raise an eyebrow to you?
Chair, it would if there was some issue we have found out, but for now, because he was working there, he left, and when he came here, it's a new assignment, and actually there, as the claimant said, his work is only to issue an instruction to survey. He doesn't survey himself.
Yeah, but eventually he signs it off, giving a green light.
He signed it off then, when he was there. And now when he comes here, there is no conflict with his work this side, really. It's not there, Honorable Chair. The fact that he's here, these were private people, and these are...
Was given a bribe by a certain person belonging to entity X. Why should I believe that person until I get evidence? You get what I mean? So coming here, and now he's saying there's also politics involved, it has become a lot more confusing. He wants to stand somewhere. I don't know, he says the opponents and all of that confusion, which I'm not interested in. But for someone to say that I was asked for a bribe, until you produce evidence, how am I supposed to believe you? I want that evidence because I want to know who was trying to get a bribe from you, if it is true. Otherwise, then it becomes another statement, you know, that so-and-so was given a bribe by whoever. Evidence, you know, so it becomes very confusing.
Chair.
So if there are threats, go to police.
Chair,
I don't
actually,
know, you know.
Actually, in addition, I wanted to
recover the same from Uganda Land Commission. That was way back in 2015, and she came to us in 2020. Among the documents she came with, she had a title which was registered in her names as an administrator of the estate of the late Antoine Kalete, who was her biological father. That is property comprised in Block 147, Plot 2, in Buyaga, Chivale District. So it is the very title that we submitted to Uganda Land Commission to enable her get her compensation. She had, with her, she had letters of administration, which were not procured through our law firm, and we believe that they are the ones she used to secure her interest with the land registry in order to enable her register herself on the title. So based on that, we went ahead and did a search with the land registry. We discovered that indeed she is the registered proprietor as the administrator of the estate of the late Antoine Kalete. So based on that, we went ahead and represented her. And finally, we were able to get her payment from Uganda Land Commission.
So,
Mr. Chair.
Have you ever spoken to her?
Spoke to her on, was it on the day ULC engaged us? I think, was it on Friday?
You spoke to her how?
On phone.
On phone. So you have never met her?
No, me physically not.
So how are you representing someone you have never met? How's that people coming through?
Mr. Chair, I have the documentation which she signed that she signed with the law firm, where one of the partners engaged her.
Why is it that that partner is not the one who came? Because
he was appearing before the High Court of Mubende, and I was available.
Because we want to, and according to you, which law firm worked on her letters of administration?
Mr. Chair, the letters of administration don't indicate the law firm.
Daughter to come in. Now, assuming the granddaughter was given powers of attorney, according to you, was she alone on the powers or with other relatives? Secondly, if she wanted somebody to translate or to help her in English, I think it would be almost the same tribes people or village mate or somebody who is educated on the same tribe. Now, this Amara Peter and Natalia, they are not of the same tribe. Is it true or not?
From Chibale, he's saying from Chibale.
No, there is a point I'm driving at.
Mr. Chair, I don't know where the honorable member derives that.
And secondly, lastly, Chair, with due respect to Council, you came here after knowing that the committee is complaining about the name Natalia, isn't it? That means in your understanding with your partner, before you went to another case, they knew there is something fishy about what the committee is trying to discover. Why didn't you bother to bring us the real Natalia or your partner who has been in charge? At least you'd have written to the chairperson that the person who understands this issue properly is committed in OIMA. Can you give us next week?
Mr. Chair, the reason as to why Natalia could not appear today, it's because she's of advanced age and she was a bit frail. But hopefully at the next sitting, she can make an appearance.
Okay, I would like us to end this meeting. Mr. Nyumba, I was told that up to now you have refused to avail your account details. Why?
Byalimu amenkwetu n'abantu bangi abaweebwa ssente ezo gyali mizimu bwe baali tebaliiyo. So twagezezzaako okuyita abantu abo bagamba abaweebwa ssente na butya bwe baafuna ebyapa ebyenjawulo okutuuka okuliyirirwa. Saamugesa akyogedde bulungi nti yettaka yalifuna nga wa myaka 13. Mbu abafamire ne bamuwa yiika 5 era ezo kwe yasinziira n'agenda n'azikolera ekyapa esaidize ye Kagadi n'agenda ne bamuwa ssente. Ekyapa yakifuna mu mwaka gwa 2011. Of course ibintu bingi nnyo yabadde tannyonnyola nga ettaka lyali lyerere, agamba lyerere ate valuation report egamba ettaka kwaliko abantu. By then era nga lijjudde nnyo naye nga waliwo n'amataka ameerere agamulinaanye. Lwaki erirye? Government yasalawo okupikingamu interest oba neefunamu obwagazi negamba yigwe babaliyirira abalala tebabaliyirira. Bayita batya eri yonna yonna ne bajja ne batuula ku ttaka lye naye tatuula ku ttaka ddala. Ebyo byonna byalemeddwa okunnyonnyola obulungi. Then netugenda ku nsonga ya Natalia mukyala mukadde nnyo gwe tulowooza nti era naye taliiyo. Balooya bano bafuna powers of attorney naye bwe tubabuuzizza bakkanya mu mbeera ki ey'okusasuligana ne bagamba nti balina kufuna ku ssente nga bazibasasudde wadde endagaano wakati waabwe ne client waabwe ebakkanya ku nsonga eyo era nayo teriiwo. So mu mbeera eyo tumusabye omulundi oguddako akomewo ne Natalia wano ne looya yennyini eyali mu nsonga zino twongere mu maaso okwetegereza ensonga oba ye Natalia omutuufu oba taliiyo. Obufunze bwekityo bwe kibadde.
Okay. So olwaleero tusinkanye abamu ku bantu abaweebwa ssente ekitongole kya Uganda Land Commission. Kuba tuze tulondola ssente zino mujjukira ssente zaateebwa mu bukyamu era Minister of Finance Matia Kasaija yakkiriza. Ssente zaateebwa mu bukyamu tebaayita mu mitendera gyali girina okuyitibwamu. Kubanga ebbaluwa yawandiikibwa Oweekitiibwa Betty Kamya si yali alina okuwandiika ssente zino bbaluwa zino naki naye kaakati ssente zino mu kuvaayo nga teziyitidde mu mitendera emituufu waliwo ate ebibuuzo bingi ku baani abaafuna ssente zino. Muze mukiraba chairperson w'akakiiko Honorable Betty Byencha Beatrice ye nga akakasa nti omuntu omutuufu yali omu yekka, abalala 5 baali bakyamu nga baafuna ssente zino mu ngeri etategeerekeka. Kati obuzibu buli wano nti abantu abamu basanga ebyalo nti kakati kyalo nga kino kiriko abantu abayitirivu eka bwe zityo ye n'agenda n'afuna taito. Kakati muwulidde omukulu omu gwe twasose naye Mugisa Geoffrey ye ng'agamba nti kakati ettaka lino lyali lyange, lyali lyaffe nga famire era eventually n'agenda n'afuna taito. Ayinza okuba omutuufu naye ate ayinza okuba omukyamu kwebyo bituwulira bitya ofunye title eno ate sente ne zikuweebwa mu speed ate sente ezo zavaayo eri nga teziyise mu mitendera etategeerekeka kakati ekyo kiriko akabuuza ku title eno yagifuna mu ngeri ennambulukufu oba waliwo ekkobaane kubanga tulina abantu bangi abatannasasulibwa sente zaabwe myaka 15 myaka 20 bali mu system bambi balinze naye kakati bano abajjo juzi ne babawa sente zaabwe ate sente empitirivu abala bambi ababanja bu sente butono bali eyo banaku naye baganya bawa sente zaabwe emyaka emiyitirivu naye kakati bano bo bajuzi taitu ne baziprocessinga awo mangu sente ne zivaayo mu ngeri etali nnambulukufu kakati ebibuuzo bingi nga ansa ntono so olaba ne bibazeemu awo tetuli bamativu era kyovudula twagala okusinkana eventually aba district land board ya Kibaale bano baba watya title kubanga ettaka libadde awo abantu nga baliko tekuli kyapa naye kakati navudde n'agamba nti nfunye ekyapa nze nannyini ttaka lino usanga ng'awulidde nti waliwo okwagala okompensatinga bwe bityo bibeera mu ngeri tategeerekeka so twagala okunoonyeza ku documents ezo tuzifuna obulungi tukyalinze ne documents ez'owekitiibwa Bitikamya kwa twamusaba atuwe directives yagamba nti zava wa president minister of finance ye yagamba nti bakebera ministry yabwe presidential directives ezo teziriyo natugamba tusabe owekitiibwa Bitikamya tumulindiridde atuwe ebiwandiiko bino Stephen Peter Nagenda kubanga Stephen Peter Nagenda ye yagenda mu kooti era kooti yawa order nti omuntu ono musasule in fact mutekemu ne interest costs okay bana abalala bambagamba presidential directives tewali baluwa eraga nti ekiragiro kyava kyaliko engeri ya presidential directive oba kyava wa Mwami Museveni obaani ate abalala nti ono simanya yali mulwadde waliwo omukulu abadde awo tibamuwa sente ze kubanga yali mulwadde weewaawo siri musawo okutegeera omuntu mulwadde oba ki naye ate waliwo abalala ba myaka 15 egiyise n'okusobamu bali ewo sente bwatwe babufunanga ono ye ekyapa kifunye speed sente ne baziprocessinga speed awo ate mu ngeri tategeerekeka n'afuna sente kikulaga nti either abamu babeera banene obanga balina abanene abali mu bintu bino
bwakola ki bwaweebwa baani leero tutandise okuinteractinga ne babeneficiaries oba bafuna sente zino of course kyannaku nti kati nga mugisha ze nga byatunyumiza ettaka yalifuna wa myaka 13 tebikkirizika ne tukyagenda maaso okunoonyereza ettaka lya family hectares nga 5 ye yatwalako 2 twebuza abalala bafuna ki era lwaki yafuna ezo n'engeri gundi gye yatambuzibwamu of course aze ng'alumiriza nti abakakiiko Kalani Commission bamusaba enguzi almost 50% kitundu ku sente zalina okufuna almost million nga lusamu ku billion n'ekitundu zalina okufuna ate bwe tumukuziza ate n'abikyusa n'agamba nti abasindika basibwawo agent gwe basindika ate oyo agent yennyini ya petitioninga nga wakanya obutuufu bwe era mu komiti za parliament kati mukyalimu ebyo bingi twagala okutuuka ku nfeete tulabe abaffe ekituufu kyali ki sente zakola amakulu ate omulala Natalia Simayo yaluga mukyala mukadde lawyer ze tamulabangako tamumanyi tumulaze ekipande tasobola mu identifyinga oyo tugobye mugobe aleete abagiringa naye kubanga n'oyo mukyala bagamba ate naye yayitira mulala bamuyita namala ne lawyer yamukolako tazze abulawo tubatumiza butumya so nga twaga kumanya esente zino zakola ki era zaweebwa abantu ettaka Uganda Land Commission oba yalisasula twafunamu ettaka byapa ki ebyapa bye tulina era tewaliwo kiremu nzala zo zakola ki so kyajjayo ekinyusi kino kubanga tubali tufuna nnyo allegations okuva abajulizi abasooka nti abamu bampewo abamu tebaliyo kati bo bewakana nti gye bali kituyamba okumanya nti gye bali that's why tugenze nnyo okulaba nti abajulizi baba gye bali kale bo bajje ate netuddayo ne kuba n'abakakiiko abamu abaali bewa sente kuba n'esente zetunonyerezaako si zino biliyoni 10 zokka wawe n'eziri endala tukyageza kwekerenya account number z'abakozi kubayisizanga sente n'ebirala bitambulirawo so nga COSASE tukyakunya n'ekigenzo ky'okulaba nga tufuna value sente zalagawa kubanga auditor general we yali alambika yalaga emiwatwa mingi yalagamu ebituli bingi bitugezako okwekenneenya oba tujja kuvayo ne report enambulukufu naye nga sofa tukizudde nti buli step gye tutuukako ate tuzudde ebirala bingi ebyetaaga okuddamu okwekenneenya so tukyabayita bonna abo ababenefitinga mu biliyoni 10 of course ne sente endala